Hey there, my friend. Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners, and welcome to this week's episode of the Dinner Made Easy show. I'm so glad that you're here with me. I'm extending the conversation from Tuesday. On Tuesday on the Erin Chase show, I introduced low cook recipes, and I'm going to make a couple of them throughout this month, starting with tonight's avocado black bean quesadillas. There's no protein that needs to be pre-cooked. There is no, let's see here. Sorry, I'm looking for a different page. Sorry. Hey guys, sorry. Why can I not see this? Okay, well, whatever. Here we go. So we're going to be making this every time I do a live. I think it changes literally every time. All right. Avocado black bean quesadillas, no cooking of protein. This is a vegetarian option. It's a great for Rice and Beans Wednesday. It's great for Meatless Monday. However you want to, whenever you want to make this, it's going to be a perfect option for a quick dinner. Hello, Char from Central Illinois. Is it hot there too? It's about 106 degrees here today, which is unheard of for June, hence the tank top. All right, we are gonna go and just get right into it. The things that we're gonna talk about today, we are gonna talk about how to cut an avocado. We are going to rinse these black beans because I do not want the filling of this to be juicy. I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of taco seasoning. The recipe calls for cumin, but I'm gonna mix it up and do taco seasoning. And we're just going to jump right into it. And then we're gonna assemble them and then I'll go over some different ways to cook them. All right, let me grab my cutting board. All right. So I learned how to cut an avocado when I lived in the Dominican Republic. So I cut it in my hand. That's, if you're new to knives or you're young and you're not used to using knives, don't do that. But I'm gonna show you anyways. The skin of the avocado is very thick. I'm actually gonna cut these two. This one is too ripe. All right, how do you know when you're at the store, before we get into cutting, let's talk about choosing. How do we know when this is ready for you to choose? So what you want to do, first give it a squeeze. It needs to be just a bit firm. This one's going to be great, I can tell. The second is if you see the stem still connected, pop it off. And if you can see, you can then see the green inside. This one's actually overly ripe, I can tell just by doing that. So that's two hacks for you. Give it a little press. You want it to have a little bit of a give. And also you can pop off, if it has a stem, you can pop off the stem and look for the green. Okay, so how to cut an avocado. You're gonna wanna lay it flat. We want cubes. So I'm gonna show you how I cut the cubes, all right? I'm gonna try to do it on the cutting board so you can see, but you're basically gonna wanna do, what's the opposite of equator, my friends? Where you're cutting around lengthwise, what's the opposite of equator? I'm not even sure. Char, I'm gonna come visit because I need that weather. All right, hey Teresa. That way is how we wanna cut it. It's not along the equator, it's along the other equator. The latitudinal equator? Y'all, this is not these are not words I know. Help me out here. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to I'm trying to keep it on the cutting board. I'll show you on the other one how I cut it in my hand. But I'm gonna try to be responsible and show you the safest way to do this. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna lay it flat and you're gonna machete style. You just need to get the knife to hold on to the seed. So just give it, it'll go in a millimeter or so, give it a twist, pull it out, okay? That's done. Now, I said we wanted kind of small pieces because this is gonna be part of the filling of the quesadilla. So I'm just gonna do a couple of, I'm doing it in my hand, see? I'm trying. Cutting it like this. We want thin pieces, and then I'm going to use a spoon to scoop these out into this bowl over here. You guys, this is really hard for me not to cut in my hand. 15, 16, 17 years of cutting these in my hand. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to give it a little wiggle. We can do that wiggle wiggle. What's that funny trending audio on Instagram? It's like the wiggle wiggle. We're gonna do that with this. Now I'm just being awkward. Okay, so this is gonna go into the bowl. The avocado, the lime juice will help keep from browning. It'll also give it a nice flavor. And then the taco seasoning or cumin and the black beans. Okay, so let me just finish this one up. I'm gonna try and speed this up a little bit. I wanted to teach you about how to choose the avocado and then how to cut it so you get these kind of small bits that can get mixed in. Okay? And then I forgot words like longitudinal and latitudinal. I'm still completely blanking on which is which. Okay, so now how to cut it in your hand. I'll just show you really quickly. It's going to be a similar, you still need to cut it along the opposite of the equator. I'm just going to call it that. I'm going to make that up today. Okay, look at these beautiful avocados. This is how we do it now. This is how I've always done it. Same thing with the machete. It's not going to hit your hand because the seed is higher than your hand, okay? Do not, I repeat, do not try to, I've actually seen people do this. Do not try to stab do not do this. Put a big red X. I wish I could put a big red X. Do not stab the seed and then twist, because what will happen is it will slip because the seed is slippery and you will stab yourself, okay? Not something that we want to do. Nobody has time or extra money to go to the ER or the urgent care right now. Kathy, thank you. Okay, so again, same type of cut. The skin is very thick on an avocado, okay? I am not worried about this knife breaking through. I'm being very gentle with these sideways cuts. You know, keep your fingers, the tips out of the way. You kind of get the idea here, okay? Same story over here. This one's a little flatter, but this will actually be some nice, good pieces. Just like that, and then you scoop into your bowl. All right, and then we're gonna gently toss this with these other ingredients. So the low cook recipes, I went over the whole deal and shared a whole bunch of ideas with you on Tuesday's Erin Chase Show. You can see that video here under the videos tab. If you're catching this later on YouTube, it's also uploaded on our YouTube channel. Okay, so go check that out. Lots more ideas for you for this summer. Just need to grab a rag, hang on. My reusable towel situation. Okay. We're going to open and drain these. Again, there's going to be a little bit of liquid from the lime juice. I do not want any of the juice from this can of black beans, okay? All right. Hello, Teresa. Carolyn, hello. So glad y'all are here. So I'm just going to really quickly over the sink, rinse and drain this. You'll hear the water. Hang on. Rinse out the can, get all of the beans from the bottom of the can. Sometimes they get stuck. This takes about 10-15 seconds to rinse. You can pat them dry if you want to, but I'm not going to today just for the sake of time. Alrighty. So if you're just joining, this is an example of a low cook summer recipe, a perfect recipe for the summer that doesn't require a lot of cooking. And it's not a like slow cooker recipe. I went over all this on the other video. Go watch that. It's not slow cooker. It's not a no cook, but it's just going to take a couple of minutes to cook. In this case, it's a couple of minutes to prep. We're not cooking any protein with this one, so we don't have to worry about, I feel like protein always adds quite a bit of cooking time to whatever it is you're making. Okay, so I'm just going to, so this is 2 medium avocados, 1 15-ounce can of black beans, about a tablespoon of lime juice, and that really is for the avocados, okay? And then we're gonna add a tablespoon of taco seasoning, and that is for flavor. This is my homemade taco seasoning that you can find on the $5 Dinners website. After the video, I'll drop a link in the comments. So that's beautiful. Can you see that? You see that okay? I know, sorry. Yes, Brandy, you can. Brandy's saying that you can pop the pit out from the back side. Yeah, I've done that before. I feel like it kind of depends. Sometimes if the avocado is not quite as ripe, it has a little harder time, popping out like that. Okay, so this is basically going to be the filling that's going to get mixed with the cheese. And then we're going to get assembling our quesadillas now. So again, gentle, especially if you're using a super ripe avocado. Oh, it just smells amazing. I could just eat this like this. This looks good by itself. It's like a little avocado black bean salsa almost, except there's no salsa. If you wanted to add a little salsa, you could, like some red salsa or even green salsa. Again, you don't want too much, like there's no liquid pooling in the bottom of this bowl. You don't want that with the quesadilla, okay? You don't want too much liquid. That lemon juice really, sorry, that was lime juice. The lime juice really did get coated on there. Now, tortillas. You're gonna wanna use at least a kind of larger burrito-sized tortilla. There's a couple of different ways you can cook a quesadilla. For purposes of today, I'm just gonna do it on the skillet because that's gonna be quick. You could also bake them in the oven. You could also grill them if you have like a panini press or even on like just a grill. You could do that, but for today, I'm going to just do this in the skillet. So what I'm gonna do, I actually have some cheese I need to use up that's different from what's on the recipe, but mozzarella, cheddar, Mexican blend, quesadilla blend, like there's lots of choices. So what I'm gonna do is add a very thin layer here, and then the filling, and then more cheese. And the reason that I do that is because the cheese kind of acts like a glue. We're gonna fold it over like this, so I need the cheese acting like glue, if you will. As it melts in the skillet, it will be gluish, okay? So you're just gonna make however many. You could probably make, I'll probably use 8 tortillas, maybe 10 for what I have here. Doesn't that look so good and so easy? Again, vegetarian, super great for Meatless Monday. We've been starting to do this thing called Rice and Beans Wednesday because holy cow, groceries are expensive. And so anything that we can do to still have a hearty meal. In this case, we've got that the good fat from the avocados, and we do have a little bit of an incomplete protein from the black beans. I'm gonna toss a little bit of cheddar on there as well. Sorry, I keep having to reach across, you guys. I apologize for doing that in front of the camera. I used to have a second camera and something happened to it, and I haven't gotten a replacement yet. Okay, so this is fairly thick. We are going to just press down. A little of that cheese might escape, that's okay. So let me just make 2 or 3 more, and then we'll go over to the skillet for that part. That one's kind of oblong. Okay, here's a good one. All right, cheese. Again, I'm trying to use up this cheese. I say be generous with the cheese. These are quesadillas. I like you can see the bulk bag here. I like that option. It's definitely the cheapest option if you do have a warehouse store and a membership. There are a number of ingredients that I think are just worth having the membership for, and I would say the savings just from kind of the dairy products alone, the shredded cheese, the butter, the milks, even just those alone, you'll save your membership costs back. This is not meant to be a video about the warehouse store. All right. Again, we want the cheese a little thin layer on the top and the bottom so that it'll all melt nicely on when we grill both sides of this in the skillet. Again, you could use a panini press. You could see exactly how you would just put it on the panini press just like that. Over medium heat, depending on the panini press that you have, or even an electric griddle you could do. You're gonna wanna use a medium heat because you don't want to char, well, maybe you do. I don't want to char the outside of the tortilla, so you've got to be careful and make sure you've got your heat level right. So I'm gonna actually get the skillet going. I'm gonna warm it up, and then I'm gonna reduce the heat to medium while we make this. I'm gonna do 3 so we can do those together in the video, and then I'll probably end up doing 1 or 2 more after we're finished live here. Again, low cook, super easy. It's only gonna take a couple of minutes on the skillet, whether you're using an electric griddle, a skillet like this. If you have like one of those griddles, like a Blackstone or something like that, you could make them on that. Then you're cooking outside, you're not cooking inside. You could do like a veggie basket from like on the actual grill if you're grilling outside. You could do that. I'm trying to think of all the ways that I could or would cook these. The skillet I'm going to show you. You could bake these as well. Bake them at about 400 for, I would do 6 to 7 minutes on each side. I would flip them so that the outside of the tortilla, if you're baking them, you want the outside to get a little crispy. So I would say 6 to 7 minutes on each side if you're going to bake them at 400. Okay, let's transfer. Oh, I cannot wait to eat this. I bet I'm gonna have some. Do you guys have like a herd? It's like a herd. It's a herd of humans. In my house, it's a herd of boys. They just come running whenever they smell things. Actually, I was doing some cinnamon roll stuff last night, long story there. And they just came like out of the woodworks. Anyways, that's just life with 4 boys, I suppose, and hungry people. All right, so now that that's made, again, I'm not gonna finish all of these just for the sake of time, but let me see. Okay, so we're going to maybe go on a little trip. Please hold. That's not a good idea, hang on. We're gonna go get closer to the skillet so you can see a little better. How about that? Oh, and the knives. Let me move this out of the way. All right, there's the skillet. I have it on high heat right now. I'm gonna reduce it down. I just wanted to warm it up. I'm gonna reduce it down to medium. I did spray that. You could use butter, you could use spray, you could use oil. You do want to make sure that it is greased. I think I can probably fit. Oh, there's a little sizzle. I want a little bit more sizzle. I'm going to turn that heat up just a little bit. There, now you can see. I think that's far enough away. All right, and then we've got a wide, we're going to flip this. I've got a wide, like a pancake flipper. And then I am going to use my pizza cutter, I'll show you in a minute, to slice them into triangles. I usually do two slices when I cut it like this. That's a good sizzle. Let me add the next one. That's better. We like sizzle. I think I like the flavor of butter on here, but I just used a cooking spray this time. All right, so those just need to grill for a minute or two. You can start to see the cheese is already melting along the side. Again, you don't want to be too high because you don't want to char those tortillas. It's a good medium heat. If you make quesadillas for I'm just trying to think of like what else could we use this filling for, because this is a really great filling. The avocado, black bean, lime, and taco seasoning would also be really fantastic just on nachos, like with tortilla chips and cheese. So you could quickly change it into that. You could also use like a hard shell taco and melt some cheese on top. Super easy, great option. I'm just giving these a little bit of a press. I probably should be safer and do this, huh? I promise I am safe. Do as I say, not as I do. That's a thing, right? Didn't I? I think I said that earlier this week. I don't even know what's happening. All right, we do want the cheese to be melty. I think we're good. Oh, perfection. Look at that. See, that medium heat makes such a difference. Can you see how nice and golden that is? The other side's cheese will melt. It's going to be nice and warm. I'll transfer it over here. It'll continue to, it still has a little heat going, and that cheese will continue to melt inside of there. Oh, yum. The smells are going to be wafting upstairs as we speak, and the boys are coming. I just know they're coming. Well, that one's not quite as golden. I'm going to move this so it's a little more centralized on the heat. But this is the idea, okay? Give it a good press. You want that cheese and the avocado and the black beans all to just totally meld. Meld. I like meld. Meld is better for quesadilla. All right, so things we learned about the quesadilla. Assemble them with whatever filling you wish, whatever ingredients you like. And then we are going to use lots of cheese, a layer of cheese, a layer of the filling, and a layer of cheese. Sometimes I'll even mix cheese in with the filling so that it's almost like a triple layer of cheese. Not much, just a little bit. Kind of helps hold it all together. And then, in this case, I'm doing the skillet. Ooh, we had a black bean. Let's get him out of there. We had some escape artists. And then I'm just doing half and half, medium heat, whether you're using I'm gonna spray that a little more. If you're using a griddle, a skillet like this, even a griddle like on your stovetop, you're doing it on the actual grill or a Blackstone, you're gonna want to go medium heat because you don't want to char. There's a good sizzle. You do not want to char the outsides of these tortillas. When I do baked version of these, one last little hack before we go. When I do a baked version, I will usually do a whole tortilla flat with cheese, filling, cheese, and then a whole tortilla on top. They're a little bit harder to flip, but you can do like 3 on a cookie sheet if you do it that way. You just get a lot more at once than folding in half like this. You could also fold in half and fill up a baking sheet with sort of these half folded ones. Lots of options and ways to prepare and cook these. Okay, now again, to cut these, I like to use, I think you can see this back over here. I'm gonna kind of do it up here. To cut these, I usually do into triangles. It makes them easier to kind of dip. So we're gonna start in the middle and cut to the outside. And then you get this perfect gooey deliciousness with the avocado. And the black beans are sneaking out there, and the cheese. So good, my friends. These are so good. All right, let me do this. Oh, this needs to be flipped. I can smell it. Okay, sorry about the dogs. All right, let's cut this one. If you wanted to do like a dip, you could obviously do red salsa, again, green salsa, sour cream would be fantastic as well. Any of those that you could you could either scoop and dollop on top, or you can even just do little bits of sour cream and salsa that you can spoon on top or dip, or however you want to do it. It doesn't matter. All the delicious taco flavors right here in a quesadilla. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This one's perfection. Okay. It's not quite dinner time here, but here we are, and I just might eat dinner right now. All right, last one is done. We're gonna turn the heat off. Get this deglazed with a little water, makes it easier to clean it later. And again, let me do one more cut for you. You're just gonna start in the middle of the flat side and cut triangles. Cody, Daisy are really excited about this. There we go. And there we have it. That is how we do. Let's move back over here so I can do a recap for you. Okay, if you're just joining, like, why am I looking at a stovetop? We're moving. Hang on. We are transferring. Okay, here we go. This is a low cook quesadilla. Avocado, black bean with cheese in the middle. So what we did is I showed you how to choose an avocado, how to cut it on the cutting board. I also showed you how I cut it in my hand. Do at your own discretion. We want little bits so that we end up with a nice kind of flattened quesadilla. So we need thin little strips and bits cut in those avocados. Then we drained and rinsed black beans. Gently toss that all together, a 15-ounce can of black beans, gently toss that all together with about a tablespoon of lime juice. That is really to coat the avocados and keep them from oxidizing and turning brown. Then we added in a tablespoon of taco seasoning. You could also just do ground cumin if that's all you have. Just want a little bit of that smoky Tex-Mex flavor with that cumin or taco seasoning. Gently toss that all together, and we have what is essentially the filling. I'm gonna make some more here in a minute, but we have the filling. From there, we laid out the tortillas, sprinkle a thin layer of cheese, add the filling, another thin layer of cheese, fold them over into half. From there, you can cook them any of the ways I described: grill, griddle, Blackstone, electric griddle, skillet, oven. Okay, So you just want to make sure you're on a medium heat so you get that nice golden color. You don't want to be burned. We want that nice golden color. You will need to grease whatever it is you are cooking on. The tortillas can get very sticky if you don't properly grease your skillet, your griddle, whatever. So over medium heat, a couple minutes on each side until that cheese is nice and melted, and then we cut into triangles, and you can serve with sour cream. I wouldn't probably serve these with guacamole since there's essentially guacamole inside of the quesadilla, but I would do sour cream or red or green salsa. It would be a great little dipper or additional optional kind of garnish dolloped on top there. So that is what I wanted to share with you on this week's episode of the Dinner Made Easy Show. I'm here with you every Thursday to help make dinner easier. I want to give you ideas, inspire you, make, again, dinner easy. And in this case, low cook. This probably would have taken me maybe 10 or 15 minutes to cook all of these, but because I was doing all the explaining and everything, it took a little bit longer. But we're not heating up the kitchen. We've got fast options, affordable options as well. So there's a comment here on the video that has a link to the full list of the low cook recipes, and I do have a link to this particular recipe here at the top of the video, so be sure to check those out when you have a minute. Get some of those printed, pinned, saved, whatever you do with your recipes, get those added to your meal plan coming up soon. So that is it for this week's episode of the Dinner Made Easy Show. Next week is a little funky. I will only have one show, I believe, on Wednesday. It's a little bit different from my normal routine, but such is life. The summer schedule that we have is bananas. But that's what we're doing next week. I will share an event here to the page, so be on the lookout for that. You can RSVP that you're coming to get notified when we go live next week. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your day, a beautiful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.